I always get excited when I see a good company that I'm following declining with some crazy reasons. So Ivanhoe Mines, which is a mine that operates in Africa here in DRC, they're mining copper there in DRC, uh, which is a joint venture with Zijin, a Chinese miner. Them, Ivanhoe Mines owns 39% of the Kamoka-Cola copper complex, and then the other 39 is owned by the Zijin. Then there's also government there involved, which is also owning a portion of that mine. So recently, the stock price of Ivanhoe Mines declined again. As you can see, this red candlestick all the way here, due to some of the news that were released on the 30th of March. The news, it was just an update, of their production guidance for 2026, and also an update of their mineral resource and reserves estimate. So the production guidance for 2026, actually, it's been lowered. It's been lowered. So that actually caused some of the investors to panic selling and start selling the stock because of the production guidance, which has been lowered. Because once a mining company lowers production guidance, that means automatically they're just lowering their revenue for 2026 and also their profit earnings, and the stocks tend to follow the direction of the earnings. So the guys who are selling, they're pushing the stock down. Of course, short-term traders, the speculators who are not investing into the business for a long term, but they are investing for quick profit. So those news were quite bad for them. They were negative, and hence they sold the stock. So this is the recent news update from the 31st of March. As you can see here, they conducted an independent study for updating their mineral resource and reserves, and also they also highlighted a production guidance of 290 to 330,000 tons of copper for the year of 2026, which is lower than their previous guidance that they released for 2026, because the previous one, it was around 380 to 420,000 tons of copper that they said they will produce in 2026. But now they've just lowered that because of the challenges that they are facing within their operation, because they are investing into a lot of infrastructure, building a lot of infrastructure there that will prepare higher production in future. Because after the seismic event that caused the stock to crash during this time here, which was last year around May, so the stock went all the way downward here because they had a seismic event which actually destroyed a section of their underground mine. And of course, operations were stopped temporarily, but no one died, no one was injured. People were brought to surface safely, and they had to rehabilitate that section of a mine, because it was flooded. They had to pump water, which I still believe they're still pumping the water. But of course, they had all these geotechnical engineers, rock engineers, to investigate and also come up with a solution going forward. Of course, the solution for that is gonna be, of course, change of the mine design a bit, to just alter the mine design a bit, and they will leave more pillars, of course, now to support those unstable ground conditions to prevent any further seismic events. Once you leave pillars underground, of course, you're leaving a portion of copper that you're supposed to mine, but you're leaving it as support there to support the whole underground operations. Of course, that will reduce your mineral reserves and resources. So, but it's not bad if you look at their mineral resource and reserves. You can see here the mineral resources, they are sitting at 1.3 billion tons, which is a lot. And the grade, it's higher, it's 2.65%. Within that 1.3 billion, there is 34 million tons of copper contained there. So this is a quite big deposit, a great asset with higher grade, which will actually supply the copper for decades to come. So it's not a bad decision to take this advantage and buy the shares of this company. But remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm only doing these videos for educational purposes only. So the mineral reserve now, the stuff that we're currently mining now that we show gonna make money with, it's sitting at 0.5 billion. So out of that 1.3 billion tons of copper, 0.5 billion tons of that, it is mineral reserve, the stuff that we can immediately mine now and make profit. And the grade of that stuff, it's 2.82%, and there is 13 million tons of copper contained in that 0.5 billion tons, man. So, and then also they highlighted that from 2028, their updated mine plan, it will support the ramp up of production to over 500,000 tons of copper, but that will start from 2028 onward. And currently, of course, they are mining at higher cost because of all the work that they're doing to rehabilitate the mine and prepare some of the infrastructure so that it will support these high productive stopes in future. You can see in 2026 they're stating that their cost guidance is going to be between $3.6 to $3 per pound, and then in 2027 that will decrease, of course, to 2.1 to 2.5 dollar per pound, and then in 2028 they are targeting to further lower those costs to $2 per pound, which is going to be great. If the cost, as we move toward 2028, which is when they will be ramping up their production, if the costs are also being controlled, there's an initiative which has been taken to lower the cost. That is good, because that means that's more profit. If there's less cost, more production, higher copper prices, that's profit. That means the operation will be highly profitable, and which is why now I am accumulating shares at this level here around 10 Canadian dollar shares, because it's cheap, it's undervalued, and the trend of this share price, you can see it's still up, it's going upward in waves, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, now we're on wave 4, which is back onto this level of support here around 10 Canadian dollar a share, which was previously tested when the stock came all the way from those highs here due to that seismic event, and we bounced off here. Some buyers came, pushed the price all the way upward, but we are coming back again to that level here. It looks like we're gonna do a double bottom before taking off again and move up and reach more ground there with all new time highs. So hence that's the reason why I am buying the shares. I've been actually tracking this company, this stock. It's been on my watch list. I've been following it. I've been reading every news, every updates about it, because Ivanhoe, it does not only actually own this Kamoa-Kakula Copper Complex in DRC, it also has a PGM mine which is currently being developed here in South Africa at Mokopane there, next to Mogalakwena, which is owned by Valterra. So it's gonna be a huge PGM mine, which also is gonna be producing some of the byproducts such as copper and gold, lead, etc., etc. So there's quite a number of byproducts that they'll be producing there, and they are currently now moving toward phase 2. It's a phase project. Of course, by the time this Kamoa-Kakula is this copper mine in DRC, by the time it will be producing over 500,000 tons per annum, I think also the PGM operation will be now fully maybe producing PGMs to its full capacity, to its full design capacity. So you're not gonna only benefit from the copper in the DRC, but you're also gonna benefit from the PGMs that are gonna be produced from the Ivanhoe, which is here owned by the Ivanhoe mines here in Mokopane mine. So I just want to accumulate more shares now, enough shares such that in future when the stock pays dividends, I get to benefit from the dividends and also from capital appreciation, because I believe that this stock in the next 10 on 5 years it will trade over 50 Canadian dollar a share, and they will pay quite good amount of dividends in future. But remember, guys, there's nothing guaranteed. There's also a room for failure. Stock investing is risky. You can do all your research and all your calculations, but something can still go wrong. It's all about you willing to lose the money that you invest. If you're not willing to lose that money, don't even try to invest it. Just put it into a bank, into a saving account. And remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm only doing these videos for educational purposes only. So if you're seeking for financial advice, please do look for someone who does that, a professional who does that for a living. And if you are new to the channel, please do support the channel by subscribing, and don't forget to click that like button and share the video so that it can reach more people who need such information, such knowledge, and empower them. All right, guys, with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye for now and happy investing.